Thank God that countdown is over.
Woo.
Here we go.
Welcome to the podcast about two guys who grew up in the 90s listening to grunge and pretty much overlooked everything else. Let us take you on a journey to find the music that we missed out on Stuck in My Generation.
And with that, we are back. It is warm in the studio. I'm bumping tables because I'm large and in charge. Little glutton. I had every intention. Welcome back, everybody. I have had every intention of, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a little glutton track, I'm telling you. Complete with a music video. Just me talking about food because, you know, I'm not 180 pounds like I was in high school anymore. Yeah, little glutton. He's back. We're back. Hicks is back. I'm back.
That's right.
2 viewers are back so far.
Good.
We're going to talk about the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
It was a suggestion from my buddy Dan Rozier. He is an Australian fella.
Nice.
And he likes anything Australian, basically. He argues with me about it all day. Like, Barkers, you go listen to the Arctic Monkeys. I'm like, Dan, they suck. And he's like, you don't know music, fucking shaggy wanker, fucking. Like, what? I don't understand, man. Why is my Australian friend using British stuff? But we call him the British Texan because they just, you know, I don't see any difference between Australian and British accents and the words that they use. So he suggested Arctic Monkeys.
Okay.
I looked into it. Seems they've sold 20 million albums in the digital age. So I was like, you know what? I know I'd heard their first album, and I know it was pretty solid. Maybe, just maybe, it's one of those bands that I don't know that I love. So jumped into the Arctic Monkeys. Big shout out goes to Big Aaron Butcher for doing his job in the summer, which is cutting grass and listening to the Arctic Monkeys. He called it homework. I was like, that's pretty cool. The listeners, even though I might be related to the guy, cousin, not kissing, but he, you know, if you're that big of a fan that you're going to listen to a band with us all week, that's what it's all about. That's cool shit.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate the heck out of it. It was really cool. So Arctic Monkeys, we'll dive in a few minutes. First, we're going to talk about some things. First off, I'm sure you've heard us say this is hard. This shit is difficult. It is difficult to listen to a band for a week, no matter if the discography is small or large. It still takes up all your week. Like, you want to squeeze in music that you already know you love, but you kind of can't because you have to listen to this shit. And sometimes it works out great, and sometimes it doesn't work out great. So what we've decided to do to avoid burnout and to give us a little more time to listen to the episodes, don't worry if you actually give a shit about the show. It's not going to be like we're just not going to be here some weeks. That'll happen sometimes due to just obligations, but we are bringing back TRL. Do you remember TRL?
I do remember TRL.
Total Request Live with Carson Daly.
Yeah.
It's where people would come on all fucked up and talking, play my song on the countdown. They'd play 40 seconds of a song and it'd go away, and you'd be like, what the shit?
Yeah.
Like, why is the song over?
Yeah.
Total Request Live, they only played 40 seconds to like a minute and a half of the song. Like, here's number 10. You get a third of the song, and it's like, this sucks. That's when MTV really started going downhill.
That was the beginning of the end.
It was the beginning of the end.
Mm-hmm.
So we've decided we're going to start going downhill, and we're going to do TRL, but it's not Total Request Live.
We're going uphill.
Think so?
I think so.
I mean, we're both, you know, both out of the 30s. I'm pretty sure it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, that's true.
But we figured we would switch it up. Hello, James Ward. He says, "What up? Howdy, y'all."
What's up,
buddy? That's our dude right there.
That's right.
And I do love him. I know you call me out like, what about James Ward? You don't love James Ward? A couple episodes ago,
Yeah.
I love James Ward. But anyways, not Total Request Live, Topic Request Live. So shit's about to get kind of insane. If you notice on the Facebook page, I haven't done it to YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter yet, but it's going to be / Stuck in My Generation / TRL, Topic Request Live. And that's going to be a second podcast. So now shit's going to be alternating. We're going to do a week of Stuck in My Generation, and we're going to do a week of TRL with Barkin Daly and Chick Hicks.
That's right.
We're ridiculous. It's fine.
That's right.
But we're going to take your topics. So if you're watching live, you can say, I want you to talk about dead baby kittens. And I'll be like, fucking shit, Hicks.
I've
we
got a
gotta
story.
talk. That's what it's all about. Hicks has a story.
I do have a story.
I thought of one earlier. I was like, what if someone says cat puke? And I'm like, I have something to say about cat puke,
Yeah.
actually. It
Yeah.
comes out like it was never eaten in the first place. It's just a pile of, it just looks a little soggy.
Yeah. So this is going to be on the fly.
It's going to be on the fly. Like
Yeah.
you can submit topics on any of our pages on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can talk live while we're recording and streaming to you live and say, you know, on topic request live, not on Stuck in My Generation. You can say, I want you to talk about styrofoam cups. I'm like, God dang it, what are we? Styrofoam cups. First of all, oh, he's got one. It's showing. Like, hey, here's how we feel about styrofoam cups. No topic is off the table. No hate speech. That's the only rule.
Sure.
Everything else, I mean, you can ask us touchy subjects. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a little fun on the bye week with that TRL podcast. And then we'll come right back to Stuck in My Generation, because 2 weeks is going to give us a lot more time to listen critically.
Sure.
We admit some of these bands and artists we've done, you get halfway through and it's like, I don't know if I can really attentively listen to a song when shit starts to go south, like Dire Straits.
Sure.
Did we really give them? I think we gave them a fair shake, but did we listen attentively and fully committed to listening? I say I did not,
I did not.
because it just started sucking.
There are a few reviews that I didn't. I didn't give Megan Thee Stallion
Yeah.
the review that I should have.
And
To listen.
that's how that goes, because it gets kind of mundane if there's not growth, and sometimes the growth goes the wrong direction. There's a lot of things that can go wrong and really throw you off course, especially if a band isn't good. Tom Petty, that didn't get that much harder. It was still easy to attentively listen.
Yes.
Beatles, Stones, all that stuff, it was still easy to attentively listen because it was listenable.
Sure.
Some stuff gets unlistenable.
Yeah.
And for that matter, we can take a 10 album discography, stretch it over 2 weeks, give you an episode of TRL in between. Ridiculous stuff. You guys asking us to talk about whatever the heck you want. Again, nothing's off limits except for hate speech. So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
That should be interesting. And the reason we thought of this might be the Arctic Monkeys. It might not. Maybe we love this shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your history with the Arctic Monkeys, Hicks?
I knew of one song, just one song only.
Was it an early song, or was it
I Bet You Look Good. Is it I Bet You Look Good on the Dance
Oh,
Floor? or
yeah.
something
Bet
like
you
that?
look good on the dance floor.
That's the only song that I knew of.
I knew the first album. I listened to Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I Am. And the reason I heard that is because I think it was released in 2006.
Okay.
And I was still into pop punk and punk at that time. So I had listened to that first Arctic Monkeys album, and I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this band or not. Dan Rosier, my British Texan buddy from Australia, he knows this band, but there's a punk band from Australia called The Living End.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
They had one song that was kind of big for a minute, but I like that band. And once I started listening to the Arctic Monkeys, I was like, this band kind of sounds like The Living End a little bit, just a little less punk, but it was still a little rockabilly. And Arctic Monkeys' first two albums, tiny bit rockabilly. So,
Yeah.
so I kind of heard similarities already from the get-go once I started this album. But my history is literally the first album. And I think I had listened to the second album, Favorite Worst Nightmare, but not in its entirety. I think I listened to pieces of it.
Okay.
And I liked both of them, but it was never anything to like grasp onto and keep following their musical career. So that's what this show's all about, to go back, deep dive someone we've never deep dove before. That's what she said. And see where it goes and what happens.
Sure.
So you had heard the one song.
That's it.
So I was a little ahead of you, but not much.
Okay.
What did you think about Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I Am, the first album?
The very first album, 3 songs into this album, I thought, this is the band, the group Billy Talent.
I now see that's good, because I know Billy Talent pretty well. I got into them for a minute and listened to their first 2 to 3 albums,
Sure.
probably. And yep, you're right. That's the similarities are there.
Yeah, I thought this is if Billy Talent and the Strokes had a baby. And that was just
Accurate.
off of just the first 3 songs.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. Yeah. The first album, I I thought it kind of sounded, I thought my note says it's a smart way of putting puzzle pieces together that aren't supposed to go together. That was this music. It kinda,
it was random. It was abstract, like abstract art and music form. Like, it's just all over the place, kind of crazy shit. And that appealed to me on the first album. It appealed to me back in the day. As soon as I heard this first song, The View from the Afternoon, I thought it was refreshing. Also reminded me of The Living End, which I talked about a minute ago.
Okay.
And I got I dig it a lot, even though I already knew this song, I was digging it.
Mm-hmm.
Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Fun. It's like fun music right off the rip. It's like, okay, I can handle this kind of fun.
Yeah.
Fake Tales of San Fran. It was a switch up, slower tempo. That's the third song, but I thought this is solid. Dancing Shoes, the fourth song. I said, I love this jam. It's a dang jam. It's groovy. It was my favorite so far, and there was some pretty solid skills on the guitar about 3/4 of the way through the song Dancing Shoes. Then you got You Probably Couldn't See Me, and that sounded like another band that I remember from my younger days, The Hives.
Sure, yeah.
So The Hives, I remember them, and I was like, this is a Hives jam right here, and I liked them for a minute. Probably the same way that I like the Arctic Monkeys. I listened to an album or two and forgot about them.
Okay.
So got that. Then you got Still Take You Home, Punk 90s opening, and I got This Music's Fun. Riot Van, another slow jam, but good.
It's a jazz version of Fuck the Police.
Jazz version of Fuck the Police. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Then you got Red Light Indicates Doors Are Secured. And this is where I started thinking, where the shit are they getting these song titles for?
Yeah.
I will disclose something here and now. I don't like long song titles.
Oh, I don't either.
Pisses me off.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why. It bothers me. It bothers me too.
Just pick a couple words from the damn song and roll with it.
Yeah.
Like, don't make a whole sentence. And that's something I'm typing in my notes. And I'm like, really, Arctic Monkeys? The red light indicates doors are secured, and this is not the last time they do this by a long shot.
Yeah.
And I actually, after that title, I don't have any notes on the song. I just said these song titles can go to hell because I don't like long song titles. It just seems silly to me. Then they got Marty Bum. I like this album. It's easy to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps Vampires, track 10, getting a tad bit samey.
Yeah.
So starting to sound the same a little bit, which I expect from some punkish, vibe type of music.
Yeah.
Then we got When the Sun Goes Down.
Isn't that an Uncle Cracker song?
What?
When the Sun Goes Down.
It could be. Follow me when the sun goes down. That's not the words, but,
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, Uncle Cracker or Kid Rock. Let me see how many viewers leave once I say that. I don't know what's worse, Uncle Cracker or Kid Rock. They all left. I got your picture today.
I don't know enough about Uncle Cracker to compare the two. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure why the fuck someone would be called Uncle Cracker.
I don't know.
Like, Uncle's already creepy. Cracker's a little bit,
yeah,
not good. So to be an Uncle Cracker,
yeah.
why don't you just be a little saltine? That would have made so much more sense.
Sure. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good. That's what it's all about. We can interrupt each other. We do whatever the hell we want here. That's why we're doing TRL next week.
That's right. Get ready, James Ward.
That's right. Barkin' Daly and Chick Hicks.
That's right.
When the Sun Goes Down, fun riff. But I was starting to feel that fatigue. I was like, I'm going to need something different on the next album.
Yeah.
I already knew at this point, I'm going to need growth, and I'm going to need it quick, because this, even though this was fun, it wasn't sustainable to me.
Sure.
I can't listen to like 5 albums of this shit. And it's not shit. It was solid. But I don't want to listen to 5 albums of it. It's the same as like Dire Straits,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
change something.
It turns into one long song.
Right.
4 albums that turn into one long song.
James Ward says there was only a couple songs on Uncle Cracker, and the same for Kid Rock. James, I hate to break it to you, but there was fucking zero. There's fucking zero good songs from both of those artists. You may think that Night at the Lounge Minute was a great song, but it wasn't. It just wasn't. Ball with the ball, to bang, diggy, diggy.
Yeah.
Come on. Not trying to insult, but I'm insulting them.
Yeah.
That shit was trash. Yeah. It was just all junk. Kid Rock had early rap albums that were better than anything he released commercially.
Okay.
Perhaps Vampires. Like I said, that was getting a bit samey. When the Sun Goes Down. Then we got From the Ritz to the Rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Get bordering on those long song titles again.
Sure.
Good again, but again, I'll need to switch up on the next album. Then the last track, A Certain Romance. Solid again, but I'm really going to need more on this next album. They need to change sonically. It's not sustainable. It's kind of pop punkish in a way. Pop punk aged really bad for me. It's just not listenable after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So this first album, I thought it was solid. I was encouraged. I was like, if this band continues to grow, maybe we hear some groundbreaking shit. But if they just go on the same path, it's just not going to work out. Now, I will say, tiny spoiler, they did veer off the path.
Yes, they did.
And like I say every episode, we will fucking get there. Yeah. Hicks, any thoughts on this album? Any track notes? Anything else? I figured I'd spill my guts on it.
No, I'm glad you did. I really don't have anything other than a summary. I thought this is a decent album, and I kind of respect it, but I will probably never revisit it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It did not have longevity. I would love to hear from somebody that also listened.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, if you're out there and you've got thoughts on some of this stuff, put those thoughts in the comments. Anyone that listened, I'm curious to see what everyone thought of these albums. If you listened along, James Ward said, got to let your mind wander. I don't know what the hell that's all about. A good song only needs 2 to 3 words for the title. That's an absolute fact.
Yeah.
A sentence is too much.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's where the encouragement starts coming in again. In a bigger way. Favorite Worst Nightmare. The song Brainstorm opens and kind of knocks me on my ass.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a good riff.
That's what I thought too. I thought it's the old Dick Dale surf guitar, Pulp Fiction.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I listened to it. That's exactly what my notes say. It's surfer rock at the beginning.
Good.
Like, like same thing as Pulp Fiction. You know, it's got that crazy tempo to it. And I loved this song. And I was like, shit, man, this album's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like they're coming back. You know, the first album was solid. I was like, they're growing. They're stacking on top of that strong enough release to come out. At first, they're building on that debut, and they're going to knock this one out of the park. And Brainstorm did. Like, and I knew that song, but it knocked it out of the park. Teddy Picker. The fuck are these titles?
I don't know.
What's a teddy picker?
Yeah.
Like, is that like at a Build-A-Bear and you're pointing at
Take
which
your
one you want?
daughter in and, yeah.
Like, are you just picking away at the teddy bear until
Just
it's
pick
nothing?
your damn teddy so we can go to Cheesecake Factory.
Is it a lingerie picker?
Oh.
Is it like, I'm going to pick out a teddy for you from Victoria's Secrets, baby?
Yeah. Where did teddy come from? How does that relate to?
I don't know. Like the lingerie name, like a
that
teddy?
might be a topic for next week's episode.
Might be a topic for TRL. Yeah. Teddy. What the shit is a teddy? Like, I know what it looks like, and it looks good.
Looks good.
But what the hell? Why is it called a teddy instead of a slutty, or a sexy? Why is it a teddy?
What if it's a Freddy? I'd run.
Like a melted skin mesh suit of lingerie, like a Freddy Krueger, Teddy Freddy. I don't know. That's a weird name, but musical growth was on Teddy Picker as well.
Mm-hmm.
They simply expanded the style. It wasn't anything crazy or like out of this world. It was like it was almost like they added another layer or two.
Sure.
Maybe they added a tiny bit of underlying synth. Something changed, and I was like, this band's going in the right direction. They're heading in the right direction. I talk about teddies and lingerie, and we lose viewers. It's fine. It's fine. Right? If y'all don't like sex, get out of this thing. Just get out of here. D is for Dangerous was the third track. Some harmonizing there. A little bit of harmonizing. A little bit of Beatles shit.
Yeah, I picked up on some Beatles stuff here and there.
More growth, and I was like, this is pretty cool. It's kind of a jam. I'm into the album so far. What about you through 3 songs?
Oh, I'm into it. Yeah, the first 4 songs I enjoyed. Definitely enjoyed this better than the first album. The track Fluorescent Adolescent I thought this is really good. I really like this. And there's a little bit of country twang,
Tiny bit.
that kind of guitar sound. I enjoyed that. It was just a decent, from there on out, it was okay. It was an okay album for me. I don't know if I'd go back and look for this album again. Chances are probably not.
Yeah, I could listen to Brainstorm again. Like that surfer style jam was good. Also, James Ward said titty picker, not Teddy. Save it for TRL, James. For fuck's sake. What's a titty picker even?
I've never heard that term before.
James, you dirty-minded little guy, you.
He's drinking. I bet he's on some peach Crown Royal. Probably.
Or some scissor.
Some scissor.
Some scissor.
He's known to drink the scissor.
There you go. Balaclava. Titty picker. Balaclava. I said, on this fourth track, this album's getting a tad harder, and this song continues the trend. And I wrote ... These guys are good.
Yeah.
And at this time, they were.
Yeah.
At that moment, I was like, these guys are good.
Mm-hmm.
Fluorescent Adolescent. I think this was a big hit. I think it was one of their first big hits. Okay. Fluorescent Adolescent.
I can see why.
Thought it was good. It was a nice change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Only Ones to Know. This is the first time that I made the connection that this band and this lead singer sounds, maybe not the music, but the singer. A lot of Billy Joe Armstrong to this guy.
Okay.
A lot of Green Day frontman to this guy.
Yeah.
Especially if you go back and listen to some of the slow jams, like Only Ones Who Know. I heard Green Day through and through.
Okay.
Seventh track, Do Me a Favor. Started getting dull. It was getting heavier. They didn't really change it. I was growing a tad weary. It's listenable still, enjoyable, but it's lacking that special something.
Yeah.
Like it's listenable, but forgettable at this point.
It needs a little bit of spice in the broth.
Needs some spice in the broth. Maybe a little titty picker. I don't know. Maybe it needs a little titty picker. Needs something just to spice up the room of which you listen to this album in. Pretty hard to give yourself a one-man hand listening to this. Just not spicy enough.
Yeah.
This House is a Circus. This is a tad different. I was digging that one. It was grungy. A little bit grungy. There was some grunge influence in some of this, and I liked that. The Bad Thing, which was the ninth track was If You Were There, Beware. Another Billy Joe Armstrong sounding track. I'm like, what's going on? We had a strong opening. We had a strong opening to the second album with Brainstorm. And then all of a sudden I'm hearing this whiny kind of, and I like Green Day. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. They got a new single today. It was solid.
Really?
I've always liked Green Day.
Okay.
Kind of a fan. Not a super fan, but I like them.
Yeah.
But I don't like imitators. And I feel like so far in the beginning, you got that Pulp Fiction imitation with that Dick Dale surf rock. And then you've got some Billy Joe Armstrong, replica like stuff out there. And I was like, I want something original. I'm dying for something original at this point. Then we got the next track, The Bad Thing. Started getting samey some more. Old Yellow Bricks was the 11th track. And I said, I swear this is another copy of a song I've heard, and I couldn't think of it. I can't place it.
I hate when that happens.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Much like a titty picker. Number 12, 505. The song title was 505. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, I'm out. Nothing changed. They didn't do enough on this one. Like, they started to. Brainstorm, I'm like, yeah, this band's coming for you.
Sure, yeah.
Gonna come pick your titties. And they didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Now I sound like I'm 40. Something in my throat, and I sound like my age. But the second album was better.
I agree.
It started out better, and then it just tailed off. Something awful. Any notes on this album? Any other thoughts on this album? It was harder, and I appreciated that. But I was also, like we've said in the past, I was worried as soon as I was done listening to this album. I was like, this album brought the heat a little bit more. Not enough, but it brought enough for hope. And I was like, this next album, this third one, it's going to fucking suck.
That's right.
I had a feeling it was going to suck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but they've sold 20 million albums, Hicks.
Oh, I know.
They're a big hit in the UK.
That's crazy.
This band is massive over there. I'm like, they can't suck on the third album.
Yeah, I was rooting for them. I thought album number 2 was better than album number 1, but I'm still looking for that Just something to kick my ass. I'm looking
Yeah.
for that flavor. I'm looking for that.
To be fair, Brainstorm did kick my
Yeah,
ass.
yeah.
But that's the only song so far on 2 albums that literally kicked my ass. So I was still hopeful, but I had a feeling something bad was coming. So Arctic Monkeys. Maybe Atomic Monkeys is what they need to be.
Atomic Monkeys.
Atomic Monkeys.
That's a great band name.
If Lil Glutton and Chick Hicks ever form a band, we'll just be the Atomic Monkeys.
That's right.
Humbug was the 3rd album. My Propeller, leaning a little more traditional rock. I feel like they started dropping the whole surfer rock, and kind of punkish vibes were starting to go away. So usually when that happens, that means a band is growing. They're finding their own sound.
Right.
They're figuring out what they do and what they do well. So I was like, okay, this first song, My Propeller, off the Humbug album, this band's going to start finding their way, and maybe, just maybe, they'll get it done for me. This song, I was like, okay, it's changing, doing okay.
It was different.
It was different.
Yeah.
Second song was called Crying Lightning. I heard that song, and there was a lot less energy, and it started sounding like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to chase ghosts.
Yeah.
I want to hear Arctic Monkeys rock the fuck out.
Sure.
They weren't doing that.
Yeah.
This album, this is where my feeling of despair came. Dangerous Animals. I like the music,
Sure.
but it didn't work with the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any thoughts on any of these tracks, jump right in.
Okay.
4, Secret Door.
Beatles.
Beatles. Slow Jam. Yes. Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just, again, they're starting to copy. They're starting to grasp at straws for their sound, which we'll get into even more later.
Sure. Yeah.
As Hicks pointed out on something.
Yeah.
Don't get the hiccups now. I can't get the hiccups.
That's all right. We're all
James
friends.
scared me with another phrase like titty picker. Catch me off guard. So I'm like, huh. Get rid of those hiccups for me. Potion Approaching. Again, I'm digging the music. They're changing the music up a little bit,
Exactly.
but the vocals don't match. And that song, go look it up right now if you want to. Potion Approaching had the same sound, just a slightly different tempo as Very Ape from In Utero by Nirvana.
Really?
Yeah. And this song, woo, get it, bud. This song, somebody just flew down the road. This song sounded like Nirvana, and I think it was bordering on plagiarism.
That's a great observation.
It was real close to the Very Ape song from In Utero, which is my favorite Nirvana album, even though I don't listen to Nirvana that much anymore.
Right.
That album kicked my ass. That was a real, true, raw punk album. Their best album, in my opinion. Well, besides Unplugged, that's a classic.
Sure.
But yeah, so they rip off Nirvana, I think, clearly on song number 5, whether they knew it or not. They could have been like, but we're from the UK, we don't even know who Nirvana is. And I'm like, bullshit. Yes, you do. 6, Fire and a Thud. Boring. Cornerstone. I like the song a good bit. It's nice. Nice isn't exactly a glowing thing to say about a song, but it was nice.
Right.
It was nice-ish. Dance, Little Liar. I thought this was an intricate jam. Solid. Like this album has its high points to me. Pretty Visitors. This song's okay too. The album, I admitted at this point that the album could grow on me if I really just committed to sitting down and listening to it over and over after this episode. I'm not going to do that, because some albums grow on me, as in, trying to think of a good example here. Pearl Jam had an album called No Code. Completely different from anything they had done, in my opinion. It was a really strange album for a grunge band like Pearl Jam. The first time I listened to that, I was like, what the hell is Pearl Jam doing?
Yeah.
A year later, I'm going through my CD collection. The great thing about CDs over streaming music, by the way, sometimes you flip through the pages of your big-ass CD book that weighs 235 pounds.
Yeah.
And I found No Code, and I popped that in. And a year of growth for me personally matched up with the growth that they had on that album. That album became one of my favorite albums. I still listen to it to this day. So I thought, maybe the Arctic Monkeys, maybe I revisit this and it's great. I don't think that's going to be the case because I don't think I'm going to revisit it, but there is sleeper potential on the Humbug album to me. But with 1 week to listen to it, I mean, the sleeper thing's just probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I highly doubt I go back to this, especially, which is another reason this shit is hard. We can't go back to shit. We got to listen to something else next week, you know? We got to start something else. So how are we supposed to go back on another artist when, you know, we're going to be jamming ICP next week, you know?
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Humbug thus far?
You know, I listened to this album and I thought to myself, I'm at the point of my life where this music really isn't speaking to me.
I think that's me too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they started in 2006. I was like 27 by then.
Mm-hmm.
And I had pretty much figured out what I liked musically. And it wasn't really them.
Yeah.
Was hoping that would change, but, you know, there's better music out there than this. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, why waste your time on this music so far when there's better music out there?
Yeah.
And you know there's better music out there.
Yeah.
But the game goes on. The hope remains. The Jeweler's Hands, a somber ending to the album.
I hate that fucking title.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I hate it. It sounds like a sound clip from a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
Like a soundtrack, you know.
Or an Adam Sandler film where he's not funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the funny.
Uncut Gems was a good out. Did you watch that movie?
Good, yeah.
Good movie.
Stressed me the fuck out.
Me too. I
Yeah,
didn't want him to die. I was
sweating.
like, don't die, Adam.
Yeah.
Don't die.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Kevin Garnett was good in that movie.
Yeah.
He's solid in that movie.
Yeah. It's
Like
good.
it makes me excited to watch other Adam Sandler movies, whether they're funny or not.
He can do anything.
He can. And people never gave him credit, but
Yeah.
nothing will ever trump Happy Gilmore to me. I wish my name was
Alrighty.
Shooter McGavin. I wish my name was Shooter McGavin. I'd love to be.
What
Every
was-
time I accomplish something at work, like, you did a great job this week. And I'm like,
Who was the coach who was missing a hand? Was his name Chubbs?
Chubbs.
Chubbs,
Yeah,
that's good
Chubbs.
shit. Got his hand bit
Damn
off by-
alligator bit my hand off. Like, it just,
Oh, that's good shit.
such a good movie. I hope they do a second one. Even if it sucks, I'll love it.
I love it too.
Final thoughts on this album. There was some more growth, but I'm still not all in by any means. And thank God the song titles stopped being so damn long and ridiculously complicated. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
after listening to this album, I went back and I was like, most of the songs were 1 or 2 words. That's great. Any closing thoughts on that one, album-wise? Final thoughts.
At this point, I don't know what to expect. I think they've already, I don't want to say peaked, but I have lost faith in this group at this point. 3 albums deep, still not really grabbing my attention. So we go over to album 4 titled Suck It and See.
Suck it and see. It sounds like something that goes with a titty picker.
Titty Picker, Suck It and See.
Suck it and see. Now, here's something. Sometimes I love the play on words with albums. Sometimes I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Suck it and see is a little bit too forward to me. I'm not 100% sure what they mean, and I don't give a shit what they meant by the title of this album. But
Sounds
Suck
like
It
a-
and See is very clearly Suck It and See.
Sounds like a Nickelback track.
Sounds like a Nickelback track.
Yeah.
I'm standing in line so she could suck it and see.
Oh, shit.
So this album title, I was like, okay, they're taking a leap here as far as wording goes, and they're just going to come right out and tell you to suck it and see. This album title, I was like, this album's going to suck just because the title Suck It and See. The only time a album title with a sex-involved name that works for me, that was one hell of a jumbled sentence. Blink 182
Mm-hmm.
had an album called Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Take off your pants
Mhm.
and your jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But when you read it, it's take off your pants and jacket. And I'm like,
Sure.
I love this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a play on words.
Yeah.
You read it and it's clear what it's saying. You say it and it sounds like what James Ward's going to do after the show. Take off your pants and jacket. You got it. You got it. Because he's looking at titty pickers. I don't know what the hell that's all about. But an album title like that, I can get behind. I thought it was funny. It was clever. Suck It and See, that's not clever. There's nothing clever about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go ahead and express my thoughts early before you get started. Album number 4, Suck It and See. Fuck this album.
This is where it got kind of difficult. Again, Butcher, where you at? You listened to all of it, supposedly. I got to know those thoughts. She's Thunderstorms, Billie Joe Armstrong. Black Treacle? These fucking names, dude. Billie Joe Armstrong again.
What's
Green
a triacle?
Day. I don't know what a triacle is. Apparently it's lingerie.
Uh-huh.
Brick by Brick. Kind of an old school jam. I was like, this is solid. The Hellcat Spangled Shala Sala Sala Sala. I was like,
this album.
fuck this album. Stupid ass names.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
Listen, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to say Americans are dumb, but I thought UKs were smarter than us.
Oh, their accent is plus 10 points on their IQ range.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. I just thought there was more sense, but I'm reading this shit and I'm like, who's that fucker that dated Katy Perry? What's that goofball?
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. I'm reading this shit and I'm like, did Russell Brand write all these song titles? Like, is that what happened here? Like, this is stupid. See, I told you what the title of album 4. Yes, you did, James Ward. Suck it and see, buddy. The dumb names just pissed me off on this album. Don't Sit Down, Because I Moved Your Chair was the next song. Fucking hell.
Oh, my gosh.
If you can't make good music,
just stop.
at least just title it The, or Walls, or Shelf,
Yeah.
or Butt Rock. Do something. Don't use these stupid titles. Library Pictures was the next song. Billie Joe Armstrong again. But then, because I was trying to be attentive, Library Pictures, halfway through the song, got some crazy good guitar shit. Maybe a hidden gem on this album. There was some killer guitar on track 6 of Suck It and See. Crazy good guitar shit. And I put, okay, this is the top track. Out of the first 4 albums I've listened to, Library Pictures. If you want to hear a good song that you have to make it a minute into before it gets good, that song is Library Pictures. All My Own Stunts was the next song. For some reason, this song title pissed me off too. I don't know why. All My Own Stunts, it's not that complicated, but it's a little braggy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm Tom Cruise. Well, you know what, Tom Cruise? You're a fucking weird-ass Scientologist. I don't give a shit if you do all your own stunts. This is cool, though. The song was cool. The album, at this point, because I think I was high off the last song, Library Pictures, I put that this album is solid as hell. I'm not sure why I wrote that.
Okay.
Because it was like 2 songs. 2 songs out of 6 tracks. I was like, this album's getting solid. I started getting that whole stoner vibe. I'm like, man, you gotta listen to Suck It and See, man. It's fucking brilliant, man. Shit went downhill real quick. Reckless Serenade, I wrote, okay, back down hill. Pile Driver Waltz, boring. More Billie Joe Armstrong, but boring. Love is a Laser Quest. Fuck you guys.
Oh my gosh, what a shitty name.
Love is a Laser Quest?
Oh my gosh.
Flash. Love is a Laser Quest. What's going on here?
I don't know. Are they just, at this point, are they just trying to fulfill their contract with just garbage?
I don't
is it
know.
just are they wanting fired at this point? I mean, what the hell?
I don't know, man. Love is a Laser Quest, though. That's one of the shittiest song titles I've ever heard. I would imagine you just have to be stoned out of your mind on something stronger than Mary G. Wanna. Like, to be just coming up with names like that, like, Shower Curtain is a Firestorm. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
Love is a Laser Quest. Then we got track 11, Suck It and See. Right after I wrote a few songs earlier, this album is solid as hell. Suck It and See, I was like, this album's going to end on the lowest note possible, especially after Love is a Laser Quest and Shower Curtains on Fire Up Your Butt. Stupid ass titles. Then you got That's Where You Went Wrong, and I was like, just blah. I'm just blah at this point.
Yeah.
I'm so done with this band. You got 4 albums. You had 4 albums to get me really hopeful.
Yeah.
You've sold 20 million.
It's crazy.
You've been nominated for a bunch of awards. You're a big name band. Arctic Monkeys, not that big, but in the UK and Australia, according to Dan Rozier, this
What's up,
band
Dan?
meant something.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Not really.
I'll tell you what, at this point, I think I messaged you and I said, I can't fucking go on.
And I was like, please, Hicks, don't let me suffer through this
I
alone.
can't do it.
Love is a laser quest, brother.
Oh my gosh. I was listening to other shit just to get this out of my mind.
This made me wonder if we're musical snobs. This really made me wonder, like, are we just musical snobs? James Ward says, sounds like an acid trip. Yes, it does. Love is a Laser Quest absolutely sounds like an acid trip.
Yeah.
And it had me questioning everything. Like, this band made me question everything. Am I just a musical snob? Is this shit actually good, but I'm just a dick? What is wrong with me? I started slapping myself like Arctic Monkeys. I couldn't. Not at this point. It could get better.
It could get better. I mean, we still have 2 albums to go, but I was like, Barker, I can't do this shit anymore. You're going to have to go on without me. And you said,
No Man Left Behind.
You got to listen. I said, all right.
Friendship
I'm back in.
is a laser quest, my friend. Friendship is a laser quest.
Oh, shit.
My final thoughts on this album, it had potential, and then it went limp.
Yeah.
And not in a good biscuit way. Just limp.
Yeah.
I use the same lines, I know.
That's
It's
all
fine.
right.
So does Arctic Monkeys.
So does Arctic Monkeys.
So does Arctic Monkeys. I know. It's getting tough at this point. This is where me and Hicks start talking, and we're like, okay, what the hell can we do to give ourselves a break?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know everyone, not everyone. I shouldn't be so cocky. That's getting really Arctic Monkeys.
Be
of
cocky.
me. A lot of the people that watch and listen to this podcast semi-religiously, Fireball, bless the Fireball, seem to really enjoy it. And I'm glad, because I enjoy doing this every Friday. I
Sure.
do.
Yeah, I do too.
But I need 2 weeks to digest some of this shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going to do the whole TRL podcast thing.
Sure.
To give ourselves a break where we don't have to focus so hard and ruin every week.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some bands are going to be great. We've ran into that.
Right.
Some bands are just going to kill us.
Yeah. And I do have one positive thing to say,
I'm ready to hear that.
but I'll get there.
Fucking shit. All right. AM. This is the 5th album. This is a big one because this is kind of a breakout album as far as radio, rock, and Billboard shit goes. Do I Want to Know is the biggest hit the Arctic Monkeys have.
It's Black Keys.
Black fucking Keys, which their new album sucks. I never thought I'd say that. I'm a big Black Keys fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love nearly everything they've done, but they released a new album called, it was something like Krispy Kreme. It wasn't called that. It was called something cream. It's like in front of a little dairy corner. Titty picker cream. That sounds weird. But I love the Black Keys, but the Black Keys went completely bluesish. And if you listen to the Rolling Stones deep dive, you know, I didn't like the blues album because there's only so much you can do with the blues, and it's been done.
There's only so much you can do, and I know there's one guitarist, Joe Bonamassa, I believe how you pronounce his name.
Something like that.
Plays
Laser
the
Quest.
blues, and he has like 600 guitars that are worth like $1 million a piece. Plays the blues. Dude, I don't believe you. You don't have anything to be sad about. I mean, you don't have any. The soul's not behind it. It's manufactured. I'm not buying it. I'm expecting that's with the Black Keys. You know, some of their, I don't want to say it's blues, But, they had the Black Keys, and I hate to go off track here.
No, go off track. I mean, the track we're on is leading us straight into Suck It and See.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to do that.
I had no idea. I listened to the Black Snake Moan soundtrack.
Okay, good movie.
One track is by the Black Keys. I had no idea it was the Black Keys that performed that song. And it was a good song. I don't know what the hell my point is.
You don't have to have one. The Arctic Monkeys don't have one.
They don't have one.
Suck it and see.
If you're going to do the blues, you have to have a little bit of pain behind it. A little bit of, and it's been done, and it's been copy and pasted,
and if anyone ever built on it, sorry to those hardcore traditional blues guys, but Gary Clark Jr. took the blues and added something to it and made it better. But it's like, the sound that he did still had already been done.
Yeah.
He just was really good at it.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, there's just not much you can do with it. The Black Keys kind of went that direction, and I was like, damn it. Their last album was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, do I want to know? You say it's Black Keys like, and you're correct, and it's like, I think this band has already found their identity.
Sure.
And it's not working for me. Like, they found it. They've tried to expand on it. They've tried to really, become their own thing. But do I want to know? While it was a catchy song, I'll admit that all day. Catchy as shit. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing new. And this is album 5. Are You Mine is the next track. I thought, it's okay. 3, one for the road. It's okay. Samey. Arabella. Okay, but nothing exciting. I Want It All. Okay, sounds like something else again. Number 1 party anthem.
I hate this title track.
I hate the title track, and it was like Oasis trying their best to put me to sleep.
Okay, good point.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Mad Sounds. I just got Z's written out because I was literally nodding off at this point. It's like, what is this band trying to do to me? This might be a great sleep album. This might be an album you put on when you are struggling to sleep, which happens when you get in your late 30s and early to mid 40s. You'll wake up at 3 a.m. and your eyes are wide open and you're like, what is going on?
Why?
Why, God? Why am I awake? Why can't I go back to sleep? Anyone that's in their late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, this sucks. Put this album on. It might help. This and a little Z-Quill. Maybe a couple bong hits, man.
I tell you what.
Right out.
At this point, this music is pissing me off.
I'm starting to get mad.
I'm mad. And I know you said that too. And I felt your anger.
Fireside, next track, track 8. I just got WTF written down. What the fuck? What's going on here? Why do you only call me when you're high? Fuck these song titles. Fuck them. This is terrible. Snap Out of It, boring. Knee Socks, boring. I Want to Be Yours, boring. Final thoughts on the album. Lost me completely.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah.
Never again will I jam this album. At this point, I was so aggravated that I'm never listening to the Arctic Monkeys again. Yeah. I don't care what they do unless the song comes on the radio and they got a new lead singer that doesn't sound like Billy Joe Armstrong and they got a new guitar player, bassist, and drummer that don't sound like the fucking guys that were there. I'm not listening to them. Yeah. This shit sucked. And I thought they had hit the bottom of the barrel. I thought I had gotten the ass sludge out of the bottom of the barrel. I thought I scooped that shit up, threw it in the toilet, washed my hand, asked myself, why the fuck did I just pick up shit with my bare hand? And I could move on with my life. But you know what? That's not the case. Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. This is where I'm happy to talk about this band because it's going to be funny as fuck.
And I have a very positive observation related to this album.
Fantastic.
And I'll get to that.
It's the last one. Is that the positive observation?
No.
Oh.
But I know that I sent you a message. We had a little bit of an offline discussion, and I sent you a screenshot of my notes.
Technically online discussion.
Online, yes.
But off your line.
That is right. An internal discussion.
Internal.
I said, these guys are afraid to roll the dice. What a bunch of pussies. And you responded with, Just wait.
Just wait.
They're breaking out the dice.
Fucking shaking them up. Getting ready to play with Dave Chappelle and Ashy Larry. Rolled them.
They threw them, and what landed?
They threw him right in the sewer. Threw him right in the sewer. Ninja Turtles caught them shits and was like, that's shit.
That's shit.
Tranquility Basin Hotel. First track, Star Treatment. My notes, kill me. Kill me. This band, and I thought it was just on the first track. They switched it up all right.
Yeah, they did.
They switched it up. They went from punk, rockabilly, fresh take on those two genres kind of band in albums 1 and 2. And by album 6, they're like, fuck the instruments. Let's go right over there to the Titty Picker Hotel and Casino.
Yeah.
And which is, it's fitting because it's called Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino.
Sure.
Tranquility means just tranquilized and relaxation.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was their goal here, was to tranquilize us with relaxation, but it sounded just like a shitty piano bar in a shitty hotel and casino just north of Columbus.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away by how terrible this band got on the opening track of the 6th album. Blown away. I was like, who in their right mind under the age of 94 is going to listen to this and enjoy it?
Oh, it pissed me off.
Not to be ageist, but I'd have to be 94, barely cognitive, on my deathbed. Put this on and I'm like, I can go now. This shit sucked, folks.
Oh, it's horrible. It's so bad.
And we're talking about the first song.
Yeah.
The first song made me so disenchanted and angry at this band that I had to listen to 11 tracks of what could potentially be this shit. And I was like, please God, let this be the only song on this album that sounds like this. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
It's not.
it's not.
It's not. Second song, 1 Point Perspective. Probably the first catchy song title to me. 1 Point Perspective. That speaks to me a little bit. I was like, this is, I feel like sometimes I have a 1 point perspective and I have tunnel vision, and that tunnel vision is just the way I live my life, and it's just be a good, kind person to the best of your ability.
Sure.
And trample through life.
Sure.
Their definition of 1 point perspective was, we're going to steal the opening to Yonkers from Tyler, the Creator, and turn it into a casino jam.
Yeah.
Shit sucked. American Sports. Okay, Huey Lewis is probably pissed off that they titled this song American Sports, and I wrote, I get it. This album is supposed to sound like a Vegas or small casino piano bar. That doesn't make it not suck. The title track, just kill me. Golden Trunks, I just want to get through this shit. Song 6, 4 out of 5, 80 synth opening, and I was like, okay, 80 synth. I like 80 synth every once in a while.
Sure.
Song comes to mind, I can't think of it. They ripped off someone else and I couldn't think of it. That was the best song so far that I also will never, ever, 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 ever listen to again. The world's first ever monster truck front flip. Way to piss me off. That's the song of the title, folks. The song of the title. Title of the song. That's how angry I am. I'm turning green. The world's first ever monster truck front flip.
I didn't even get to that point, so
What the hell kind of name is that?
I don't know.
Like, I get it. You guys think you're clever. You guys think you're witty. You think you're funny. Song sucked. Song title sucked. The rest of the song's science fiction. At this point, I'm like, sorry, this shit's pointless. She Looks Like Fun. Terrible song. Bat Phone. Gee, no words. First time podcast, no words. The Ultra Chess or Cheese. I think it was the Ultra Cheese. And I just wrote, thank God it's over. That was the last song. Thank God it's over. My final thoughts. The last two albums were bad, but I didn't know how bad it could get.
Mm-hmm.
After listening to this joke of a fucking Piano Casino album, I turned on the heaviest thrash metal shit that I could think of and just let my mind be melted by...
I did that a few times.
I could not... I'm going to say something really crazy. Out of every album I've listened to in my 39 and a half year life, I'm lying, I'm 40. This is the worst fucking album I've ever heard. Tranquility Hotel and Casino, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, it's not memorable, it doesn't matter, is the worst album. I would rather listen to Dire Straits for the rest of my life
That's bad.
than listen to this 10 more times.
That's bad.
This album sucked. This album was the definition of suck it and see. I sucked this discography, and I saw it was not good.
You saw.
It was not good.
The first few tracks that I listened to, I thought this is 100% a David Bowie ripoff. What little bit I know about Bowie.
And that was a great catch because I didn't notice it.
Okay.
And then when you said it and you sent me a couple examples of later David Bowie stuff, not later necessarily, it was like the middle of his career. It was like before he did a chameleon change.
Sure.
Like before he went, I'm afraid of Americans.
Yeah.
You know, you sent me some really somber David Bowie tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And they were good because David Bowie, you know, they were weak for Bowie.
Yeah.
But you nailed it. Like this band was going for the casino piano thing while also imitating Bowie, and it was very apparent once you sent me those tracks. I was like, you nailed that.
Okay.
But my God, they sucked at it.
Oh yeah, they did. You know, it's Bowie did his thing, which I respect. But the positive observation from this album, it turned me on to Bowie, and I started listening to some Bowie.
There we go.
So it opened the door for me. I was outside washing a vehicle.
Maybe that's what they meant by suck it and see.
Yeah, I can see now. This album sucked. So
and now you see Bowie.
Now I see Bowie. And I went down a little bit of a YouTube rabbit hole with Bowie, and I enjoyed it so much. So,
well, that's exciting.
They led me to Bowie.
And now that we're going to do this every 2-week thing with the TRL, with Barkin Daly and Chick Hicks.
That's right.
I'm not ripping off any names at all there.
Hey, I was the original.
You're the original Chick Hicks before Cars?
Yes.
We've been watching Cars lately. It's been a good time.
I have the evidence.
But it's so David Bowie. We've wanted to do David Bowie for a while anyways, but the discography's what?
700 albums probably. I don't know. It's so much.
It's crazy. We started on Prince, and I haven't touched that since album like
either.
4 or 5, which I will.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the works.
Yeah.
Especially since my friend Stella likes it, which her name's actually Stephanie, and I work with her, but she told me her nickname's Stella, so I'm like, Stella. I see her, I'm like, Stella.
Yeah.
But that's good. I'm glad that this led to maybe some more Bowie exposure. But the Arctic Monkeys, if you didn't follow along and you didn't listen, I'm going to try to save you the hassle and the trouble. Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
The first 2 albums are fun
and
enjoyable. So if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're like, I just want a fun album that I don't even have to pay attention to, but just gets me moving, listen to those first 2 Arctic Monkeys albums. They're fine. I won't do it again because they killed me on these last 4 or 5 albums. They literally ran me off. They seriously said, we don't want you to listen to us anymore. And I heard you loud and clear. I will not be listening to the Arctic Monkeys ever again.
I don't think I will either.
It's not a think. It's a fuck you, Arctic Monkeys. It's that last album. You talked about Nickelback making you angry.
Yeah.
I felt the anger on that Hotel Tranquility bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I literally got angry. I was like, do I really have to listen to this for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Like it's the equivalent of being waterboarded for 45 minutes.
It's the opposite of what you expect music to do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like slow jams.
Yeah.
You know, I sent you a song by the White Buffalo.
Sure.
That's some good slow shit, you know?
Yeah.
And there's some other real good slow shit. Like there's just this. I love acoustic music.
Yeah.
What's that fella's name we were watching videos of last night?
Frank.
Old Frank. We got to find that guy. Hicks was sending me videos of this guy on YouTube named Frank. Older fella, very much older to my, eyes. And he was singing covers of Slipknot.
Snuff
by Slipknot, which I'm not a big Slipknot fan, but there is some songs that I like. But this guy was doing all these covers acoustically, and his voice was very less twangy, less earthy Johnny Cash-like. It was just, he wasn't trying to sing. He was just, I'm going to sing a song about how, and it was so nice and refreshing. What's his name?
His name is...
It was really good. Like, this guy is putting himself, imagine being probably in your late 70s or 80s and going on YouTube, playing an acoustic guitar and putting yourself out there like that. This dude's got like almost 500,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
And people absolutely love him. I loved him.
Oh, I did too.
I listened to that last night and I was like, I love this guy. Wish he was, one of my grandpas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just really enjoyed him. Slow stuff is not always bad. Sometimes slow stuff is wonderful.
Yeah.
But when, the Arctic Monkeys do this slow casino piano shit, it didn't work. And I love piano. It's probably my favorite instrument, honestly.
Okay.
I love piano.
Okay.
It's the reason I love Alanis Morissette.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Killers and the Samstown Abbey Road version. Like, when somebody plays a piano right and puts the right vocals to it, there's nothing more beautiful.
It doesn't need anything else.
Doesn't need anything else.
It's complete.
Even Demi Lovato from the Grammys from like last year, she did a piano, one of her big songs on piano, and it was gorgeous.
Okay.
Arctic Monkeys just they can't do it. They can't pull it off. It was terrible.
And it's weird because the talent's there.
Not the Billy talent. That band's 20 times better than Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah. It's just
But yeah, you're right. The talent is there.
The skills are there.
They are. The first couple albums showed that, and to an extent, the third album touched on it a little bit. There in the middle, I was like, this band is potentially going to grow into something great. And that didn't happen. I don't know what they're going to do next, but I won't.
Hopefully nothing.
I won't find out. Yeah. I mean, that last album was 2018.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything else from them.
I don't either.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't want to hear anything else from them. And I was kind of excited to do this because I had known that they did more albums than what I listened to. I knew that I had probably only listened to 10 to 15% of their stuff. So I was like, I knew I liked it back then enough to jam it and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Not over and over, but maybe they grew. Maybe they're going to do something. They did something all right. They pissed me off.
Oh, they pissed me off too. It's just they did not evolve. They didn't grow, I don't think.
Not even a little bit.
I thought they sounded they were bored,
I think they did get bored. I think you'd have to be really bored to make that last album. If you're in a band, and that's another thing I want to point out, you're in a band. This isn't a one-man show. This isn't Billy Joel. Mm-hmm. This isn't, Stevie Wonder. Mm-hmm. You're in a band, and the singer is just singing shitty singing. Mm-hmm. With a piano and maybe a few really light under the radar, bottom of the track stack, just barely even legible other instruments. I couldn't pick them out. I just heard, a little bit of tranquil piano and tranquil bass and this guy singing. Who wants to be in a band like that?
Yeah.
It brings me back to that Tom Petty documentary where the keyboard player's like, play your fucking guitars. Like, fucking play them. They make noise. Hit them. Strum them. Do something.
Yeah.
Instead, they're just like barely touching the strings. Like, fucking play the guitars.
Yeah.
This band had to be screaming at their lead singer like, fucking do something besides playing elevator music and singing over top of it.
Sure.
It was pure shit.
Yeah.
Absolute pure shit. And I hate to be disrespectful to an artist when they're putting themselves out there, but my time is more valuable than what they done after the first couple albums.
Sure.
And like I said, first couple, I'm not listening to them again. Is what it is. This particular band made me super excited to do TRL next week.
Yeah.
Super excited for you guys to just throw random topics at us and let us mindlessly respond.
Sure.
With who knows what's going to be said. I'll probably get canceled. I will probably get canceled. And that's coming from a lefty, a Democrat, Antifa. That's coming from somebody destroying the country. I'll probably still get canceled because I still live in Jackson, Ohio. I'm still going to say some shit if somebody throws the wrong subject out there that somebody could be like, cancel him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
And that'll give us more time, like you said, to really listen to the music and focus on it.
Yeah.
In the background while,
I said I was a Democrat and all of our listeners are gone.
Is that right?
I'm kidding. They stuck around.
Yeah.
I don't like to be part of the divide, but I'll probably divide your asses next week. Probably divide you real hard.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. So think about those topics next week. Hicks, any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to get off your chest about the Arctic Monkeys, about TRL, about anything else before we move the fuck on from the Arctic Monkeys?
I think you've already touched on the points. Don't waste your time. Don't do it. Don't recommend it. Find something better to listen to.
I feel like I just bitched for an hour.
Yeah.
Like I feel very negative.
That's what they did to you. Yeah.
Feeling negative. Need some positivity in my life.
Yeah.
Not the Arctic Monkeys.
The good thing is that we're done with them.
Well, either you or a listener needs to pick what's next because I can't. I picked this one, and the guilt runs deep.
Does it?
The guilt runs so deep.
Okay.
I don't have the capacity to be responsible for what happens next.
I understand.
If you or the listeners pick something and it sucks, at least I know I didn't strike out twice in a row.
Sure.
Dan Rozier, my British Texan Australian friend, fuck you. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
You suggested another band to listen to. I love you so much that we probably will eventually, but you can go to hell. The Arctic Monkeys suck.
They suck.
I hope you suggested that knowing you'd get to hear me bitch. I hope it wasn't like, Baka's going to love these guys. No, and no. I hope you're one of the people online watching. They suck. Nothing else can be said.
Nothing else can be said.
So guess what, folks? We're going to see you on TRL next week with Barkin Daly and Chick Hicks.
That's right.
And we're just going to have fun with it. We're not going to listen to shit all week long. We'll listen to something. We'll announce what we're listening to on Monday, as always.
Sure.
But you'll have 2 weeks to listen to what we're listening to instead of one if you follow along like, the repeater Aaron Butcher. Or our boy James Ward. I don't know if James Ward follows along or not. He's too busy playing titty picker. Join us next week for the first episode of TRL. It'll be broadcast on the exact same channels. It'll be on the Stuck in My Generation page on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. It'll just have a different background. It'll have a different out layer there.
That's right.
But it'll be a lot looser, a lot less bitchy, I hope. And
I gotta
we'll see you
piss.
guys then. We both got to pee. Peace out. Thank you for listening to Stuck in My Generation. Again, if you want to suggest bands for us to listen to, send it over to stuckinmygeneration@gmail.com.